government badness and drolleness, not me. So you speak to the things you embrace, not me. Not me. I am also aware, Mr. President. No, but the pastor is just a exaggerated reality. It's not the first. It's not the first. Many who have criticized Mr. Holness have been arrested. Mr. President, with all fairness, and I have been consistent. And you see, that is what I learned as a child. My father used to tell me the truth is constant and consistent. The truth can't change. I was in the wilderness as one of the very few politicians who constantly said no election should be called, publicly and openly. I said no election should be called because the activities of an election were likely to contribute to everything opposite to that which has been proposed by the Ministry of Health. Let us look at the things proposed. Let us look, just give me a chance, just today. Let us look at what was proposed by the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health proposed that there should be a limiting of inter-community movement. No election limits inter-community movement. The Ministry of Health said that there should be a limiting of people interaction. No election limits people interaction. The Ministry of Health suggests that the activities of an election were likely to create risk for an increase in COVID cases. Not only did the ministry, and I mean, I am consistent. Nobody can say that I have changed my opinion pre the last election and now. Nobody. In fact, some of the people were saying that it was making the opposition look afraid for a person of such high office to be openly saying no election, no election, no election. Now let us go further. The bill before us now also states that calling an election in a spike is a risk that they are unwilling to take to call this local government election. That is what this bill is proposing today. Now you can claim you learned after the last election, but you cannot claim that the last election did not contribute. Let us go further. The Ministry of Health spoke to nomination day impact. That after nomination day, they expected a spike. The Ministry of Health, not Damien Crawford, the Ministry of Health. And Jamaica Labour Party has the cabinet, under whom Minister Tufton is the Ministry of Health. Is the Minister of Health. The ministry said they expected a spike after nomination. Nomination is a necessary part of an election. No, I'm talking about me, Damien Crawford. It goes further. The Ministry of Health predicted after nomination day that they expected a further spike after election day. And that has proven to be true. There is in scientific research a concept we call correlation. And while correlation isn't causation, correlation is a reason to seek information if there is causation. There is clear correlation between what was the case prior to the election and what has been the case since the election.
That's right.
Clear correlation. So therefore, the government should not be allowed to be absolved. There's a decision that was to be taken only by the Prime Minister. That is when an election was to be called. Right. No matter what the opposition said or did, the Constitution offers him that right.
Maximum right.
That was an election that wasn't due until 2021 March. He sought political advantage, which he gained.
Point of order again?
He gained. And I mean, we can assume. But also, he gave us governmental disadvantage. He cannot be absolved from the downgrade to level 4 by the United States government, that Jamaica is now level 4, putting greater risk to the tourism industry. It cannot be absolved.
Very much responsible for it.
And secondly, he cannot be absolved from the losses that the economy will take further.
That's right.
Because as you would have said, and many Jamaicans agreed, before the act of an election, the management was good.
Yes, the numbers are good.
Many would agree. The logics of the numbers show that. No, Senator Webby. There was a time, Senator Webby. Senator Webby, you would agree that there was a time that Jamaica's numbers were not moving with the rest of the world.
That is so true.
There was a time that the government was so proud of their actions that they were on TV 6 hours and 5 hours a day explaining how they were managing. And their reasons. One of the spike, the Black Lives Matter march in America contributed to a spike. The elections in America contributed. How is it that the government of Jamaica can say that the parties contribute to a spike in the holiday, but I can't say that the election contribute to a spike? How can they say the entertainment activities? Not me, the Prime Minister said that one of the reasons they are putting the Christmas under strike, under suspension, is because when they did a little freedom in the it was the emancipation, the emancipation, it led to a spike. Then how they can blame entertainment for a 2-day period, and I can't blame them for a 30-day period? That's not reasonable and truthful. The other thing is, there's no scientific evidence where, and the scientists tell me that. Who retail the entity? But Mr. President, the entity has begged for its name not to be released. Mr. President, like many other entities, like many other individuals, the entity and its operators are afraid of government badness. The government badness has been a feature of the approach of the JLP government, as anyone who offers critique or dissent. The citizens of the country, Mr. President, are afraid of the government. You embraced a song called Government Badness and Joanness, not me. So you speak to the things you embrace, not me. Not me. I am also aware, Mr. President. No, but the pastor is just a exaggerated reality. It's not the first. It's not the first. Many who have criticized Mr. Holness have been arrested and publicized on the internet.
Mr. President, on a point of order. On a point of order, Mr. President.
Senator.
On a point of order, Mr. President. On a point of order, Mr. President, the senator is misleading the House, and he must withdraw those allegations. They are untrue. They are untrue. They are baseless, and they should be withdrawn. They should not remain on the record of this honorable chamber.
Mr. President, today is not the day.
Senator Crawford, look now, you heard what the minister
I heard,
said.
Mr. President, and I can guide her to the.
Senator Brown,
I can
please,
guide her to
please,
the
one
social.
minute. Senator Brown. You have a right to dissent, but you do it in order. Senator Crawford, you have made an allegation about the Prime Minister of this country. You're going to either withdraw it or you're going to substantiate it.
No, sir. I made no allegations. I said people who criticize the Prime Minister has been arrested. I did not suggest. No, I'm saying that I'll direct you to social media. I'll direct you to social media where they consistently post.
Senator Crawford.
Mr. President.
Senator Crawford, 1 minute. Senator Crawford, 1 minute.
Mr. President,
Clear.
what he's saying in any event is still misleading and seeking to imply There has been nobody who has been arrested for criticizing the Prime Minister. None. None. None.
All right, I'll move on.
The noted incidents is not because of criticizing the Prime Minister. Why the person broke the law, went to court and was prosecuted and
You're being
charged.
unreasonable, Senator. I'm not speaking to a
All right,
person.
Senator,
Anyone
made
of
it
them you wish
clear.
to speak
Senator
to.
Crawford.
Anyone you wish to speak to. Be responsible, man.
I can speak to an individual, Mr. President, who had to come on the social media and apologize.
Senator Crawford, I am not concerned about what is happening in the social media, you know. I am concerned about what is happening here, and you are imputing motive to a member of the House of Parliament.
Mr. President.
You have stood up and
All right,
said
Mr.
that
President.
anybody, hold on, hear what you said. Anybody that criticizes the Prime Minister is arrested. Is that true?
Mr. President.
Is that true?
I am saying that, all right. Mr. President, all right, fine. Mr. President, let's move on. Mr. President. Mr. President.
Sir, Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President, I've never, Mr. President, I've never,
Senator
Mr.
Crawford,
President,
1 minute.
I've never done this before. This is my second term in the Senate, and I've never done this before. We have to remember that we have an international audience also. That statement is very damaging, not only to the Prime Minister, but to the country of Jamaica.
Mr. President, I will move on. Because there is no, listen. Mr. President.
Mr. President, I think that we have reached the point where you should make a ruling on the matter that is before you. And if the senator proceeds, then you should use your authority under the standing orders to discontinue his presentation.
Mr. President, on a point of order, go on, please.
Senator Crawford, you know you can put a stop to this very easily, though.
Mr. President, Mr. President, I'm really not sure what it is Senator Crawford is being asked to withdraw.
What I can tell you, he has made an allegation that anybody who criticizes the Prime Minister is arrested.
Mr. President,
he
with
is
respect,
imputing
with
motive
respect.
to a member of the other house, and he needs to withdraw it.
No,
What you
Mr.
don't
President,
understand?
Mr. President, with respect, I think you
I'm
misheard it.
speaking to you and Senator Brown at the same time, so both of you decide who I am addressing. You decide.
Mr. President, he made a statement of fact. He said persons who had criticized the Prime Minister were arrested. That is a statement of fact. That is not in any dispute.
That is, no.
That is not misleading anything.
Mr. President,
He never
Mr.
said
President,
everyone who
let him
criticizes
finish.
the
Let him
Prime
finish.
Minister was arrested. He never said everyone. He said persons who had criticized the Prime Minister were arrested. That is a matter of public record.
Senator, no matter how you spin it, Senator Bunting, it was said within a context.
And it is misleading.
And I'm asking the Speaker to withdraw the statement and move on.
Can I say something, Mr. President? Mr. President, I have written text and also the answer can speak. I said that the people are afraid of government badness. Government badness has been a feature of the JLP government. Anyone who offer critique or dissent, the citizens of the country are afraid. It was then suggested, well, I said that persons who have criticized has been arrested publicly and placed on internet. So when you check it, so what is there to withdraw? What is there to withdraw?
What?
Huh? Persons who have offered criticism has been arrested. Me not say that is the reason.
Mr. President, Mr. President.
All right.
To juxtapose to do that is to juxtapose the two things together, and then you know are going to ask for persons to interpret that to be. That is wrong, and you are misleading. And Mr. President, I am asking you to make your ruling. And if the senator proceeds, then you ask him to discontinue his presentation.
President, before you make your ruling, President, Mr. President, on a point of order.
Senator Brown, what point of order?
Yeah, you've been asked to rule on a comment by Senator Crawford.
No, I've not been asked to rule. I rule already.
You have been asked
The
to
ruling
rule.
is that you have
Sinclair
imputed
just asked
motive
you
to
to
the Prime
rule.
Minister, who is a member of the other house, and I'm asking you
Yeah, but
to
he hasn't
withdraw
said
it.
that. Mr. President.
I'm
Mr.
asking
President.
you to withdraw it.
Mr. President. Maybe you need to consult answer because that's not what I heard said. But it can't be denied, Mr. President, that some people who have criticized the Prime Minister have been arrested, coincidence or otherwise. That is the reality. Some people have been arrested, and we must avoid this dictatorial, we must avoid this road
Senator
to
Brown.
dictatorship. Stand in this.
Mr.
Wrap it
President,
up.
Mr. President.
Senator,
You need to calm down, Lambert. You're going on that line from morning.
It was my intention to make it clear that as a nation, many are concerned of the resistance to critique that the government No, give me a chance. Give me a chance. Give me a chance. Whether the government side agrees or not, I had no intention, as is being fabricated, sir, to have impugned any motive upon an individual.
so if that be the case, withdraw the statement and let us move on.
But we never say it, sir. All right. Withdrawn, move on.
If you have watched that Senate exchange, then you already know that this wasn't a normal debate. What you just saw was not confusion, and it was not noise for noise's sake. It was a serious confrontation between public health advice, political decision making, and accountability at the highest level of government. This clip features Senator Damian Crawford laying out a case that many people felt, but few were willing to say openly at a time. And whether you agree with him or not, the issues raised in the chamber go far beyond party politics. Let's break it down calmly, clearly, and without the shouting. At the heart of Senator Crawford's argument is one word: consistency. He repeats it deliberately. He says the truth does not change, and that matters because he is responding to the idea that this position is based on hindsight. He makes it clear that before the election was called, he publicly stated that an election should not be held during the COVID spike. This was not a private opinion. It was said openly at a time when it was unpopular and when some accused the opposition of being afraid. He then anchors this argument in the guidance of the Ministry of Health. The ministry advised limiting intercommunity movement. An election, by definition, increases movement across communities. The ministry advised limiting physical interaction. Elections involve nomination days, campaigns, rallies, and mass voting. These are not political opinions. These are logistical facts. More importantly, the Ministry of Health predicted that nomination day would lead to a spike in cases, and that election day itself would create further increases. According to the data referenced in the debate, those predictions proved accurate. This is where Crawford introduces an important scientific principle: correlation. He does not claim that elections automatically cause COVID spikes. Instead, he states something more responsible: that correlation demands investigation and accountability, especially when the risks were already identified in advance. And this leads directly to the issue of responsibility. Under Jamaica's constitution, the decision to call an early election rests with the Prime Minister alone, not the opposition, not the Ministry of Health, not Parliament as a whole. That authority belongs to one office. So when Crawford says the government cannot be absolved, He is not speaking emotionally. He is speaking constitutionally. He acknowledges that political advantage was gained. The election delivered a win, but he urges that the country paid the price in public health strain, economic pressure, and international consequences, including Jamaica being placed under a level 4 travel advisory, which directly affects tourism. His argument is that short-term political gain resulted in long-term national risk. The debate then takes a sharp turn, away from COVID and into fear and dissent. Crawford states that citizens and even businesses are afraid to speak openly. He refers to entities asking not to be named and to a wider perception that criticizing the government carries consequences. This is where the chamber becomes tense. Notice carefully what he does not say. He does not claim that the Prime Minister ordered arrest. He does not accuse direct intent. He states that people who criticized the Prime Minister were later arrested and that this creates fear. The reaction to this statement is immediate and forceful, not through rebuttal of facts, but through procedural objections and demands for withdrawal. At this point, the debate stops being about whether fear exists and becomes about whether it is acceptable to even suggest it. That shift is important. In a functioning democracy, disagreement should be uncomfortable but safe. When the emphasis moves from addressing concerns to silencing implications, it raises legitimate questions about tolerance for critique. Eventually, Crawford withdraws the statement, not because his broader argument collapsed, but because parliamentary order requires it. Withdrawal in procedure is not the same as admission of falsehood. What this exchange ultimately reveals is tension between health, policy, and politics, between authority and accountability, and between governance and public trust. And regardless of political affiliation, these questions do not disappear just because a ruling was made in the chamber. Before I close, I want to say a sincere thank you to everyone who continues to support this channel. We are still growing, and every single subscriber here matters. If you find value in these breakdowns, especially calm, facts-based discussions on Caribbean and African political issues, I encourage you to subscribe and help us push towards 1,000 subscribers. That milestone will allow this channel to reach more people and keep these conversations going. As always, watch critically, think independently, and don't let noise replace understanding. Respect to everyone who made it to the end. I'll see you in the next one.